what?
Because I need to transfer money.
Transfer money?
Into the debit.
Right, but why isn't it all in the debit account? You know, in the sense of that's what you're using. Whatever.
I just want to check my balances. Sure. My account number is 42486091003. Tanisha Murray. 200 South Valley Road, Code, 19301. There was a deposit of $500 2 days ago. And I'm sorry. Yeah. So I just wanted the balance of that account. And how about my other checking account? Okay, can I deposit $100 from my the first checking account into the other? Yes. Great, thank you.
What?
Yeah, sure, that works.
Really cool?
Yeah, it's good.
It's higher, lower than you thought?
It's like what I thought. I just wanted, like I said, I wanted to put.
Okay. But we got maybe when we get back, we're getting you online banking. Because
This is so.
on your
I have
phone
to
you
wait.
can do
I
it.
know. This is what happened now. I was doing it on my phone, like registering, and then I forgot to click some box. So
Okay,
it's
whatever.
Go back, and then it's like.
You can't do it now for.
Right, and
Right,
so
okay.
it's like maybe I can now. It's like
Okay.
almost a week ago or
Yeah,
longer.
that's fine.
That
So anyway, moving on. So you realize that that's most probably family hiring a investigator in general. Like, I mean, again, and again, I know I'll never win you over, I guess, in this argument, but you're telling me, right? Just play this out mathematically as a rationalist.
While you're talking, can you get my sunglasses?
As a rationalist, what are the chances that as I walk out, okay, so do the algorithm, as I walk out, every minute, right, every second is a variable, and let's put a range from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as every, so there's thousands of variables in that. So the point on the graph where he passes and snaps a picture takes 1 to 2 seconds, right? Okay. So what are the chances that I walk out and see this during a situation where I'm only able to see it for about 7 seconds because I would have gotten in the car, circumstances would have changed. So there's this window of coordination that has to happen. Now, do you think that is a coincidence? You think that there's no force in the universe and I just saw that by accident? Or do you believe that me with my laziness and my delays and everything, all of a sudden I walked out at precisely the time when I don't think we have an army of people taking pictures. I think that's the only time it's going to happen today. And I saw it, and me seeing it creates an emotional reaction. But so seriously, it puts an emotional reaction in me. It's another part of my film. I just filmed myself talking about it. It's part of, and it's real. You saw it, I saw it, and we don't know what it is. I think the most logical speculation is it's related to the biggest thing we're involved in right now. But the point is simply that's amazing to me in the sense that I saw that. And again, if I didn't see it, then the universe doesn't give me that information, then I operate like I don't know that that's happening. Just like if I didn't see that mortgage assignment to securities, structured assets, 2005 for excess, okay, which I found out now, I guess it's anniversary, it's 2 weeks from today, okay? 2 weeks ago, I didn't know that, okay? And if I didn't know that, I wouldn't, that's my trump card. Like this thing hasn't stopped yet, because I'm trying to stop it through very conventional means and simple means. Like, I filed the petition timely, that opens it. I have emergency, like all these reasons, okay? The bomb, the Nagasaki Hiroshima bomb that is going to be required apparently to end this is the introduction of a single piece of evidence, which is the assignment that they filed, which wins the case. It's absolutely impossible for any.
Well, I mean, I guess they think that they.
No, honey, here's what happened. They made two mistakes. Number one, they filed an assignment after a judgment, a writ, and a sheriff's sale was thing. So the point is this: in Pennsylvania law, here's it is. Plaintiff must, at the time of commencement of suit, which is June 2012, have proof of ownership of the note by assignment or otherwise, okay? These people didn't record that assignment in last June. They didn't do it in April when they got the default judgment, which is exactly when they should have done it, okay? They did it afterwards. Now, that's the first part. So that's like kind of like putting in your test after the bell. It's putting it under all the papers when the teachers are looking. It's cheating. Number one. Here's the best part, and this is very careful to understand. The people that prepare these documents did it, and I got one on the phone, Celinda, okay, who I have evidence against. These people are not brain surgeons, and they do thousands a day. And what happened in hours, and this is a miracle, is that they reversed it. And I've read up on this, and this has happened before. They screwed it up. They assigned it not to JP Morgan Chase, which if they had done that would just be a fraudulent conveyance that I'd have to prove, but it would still say they had standing, okay? They did the opposite. They transferred it from JP Morgan Chase to Wilmington Trust as trustee for the Securitized Trust 2005, Lehman Brothers, which, by the way, they don't even mention Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers is the issuing authority. Now, they went bankrupt, so they don't want to say Lehman Brothers because you can't, a bankrupt entity is not going to collect from us. So the point's simply this. Not only did the assignment, it actually deprived them of what they were seeking to put in. Why? Because they're doing so many a day, honey, that they have no scrutiny of it, they have no quality control, and they told the truth. It did go to structured assets. They basically gave the assignment that is true as to what happened. They assigned it right after we signed the loan in 2004. They assigned it to Lehman Brothers, or maybe it was the next year, and Lehman Brothers did an offer in 2005 called Structured Assets 2005 for excess. That's our tranche, okay? And so the point is that it's actually a truthful document, but it's showing the truth as to what happened when JP Morgan gave it away. It's actually, do you understand? You must understand that so they thought they were filing something that gave them standing. They filed the document they never wanted to file.
I know, but the document sort of infers that they own it.
No, it doesn't.
To assign it to somebody else.
They owned it as of when we signed. They owned it. They're the originators of the loan. Right. Then they, right away,
I know all that in between, but I'm talking about what just happened.
But honey, what just happened was...
other things, is there anything else recorded then?
Nothing else is recorded.
Okay, so we have the original,
we have our mortgage, which is us and
Jay, and
us
and ever.
And that was never signed. Okay.
There was no
Well, those were recording in 2004 when we did it.
Right. So when we bought it, and then that's it.
And then there's no other assignments from then till now, 10 years later. But what they just filed was an old assignment from 2005.
It says 2005.
Yes, it says 2005 on it. Because the way it says Security Assets Trust 2005 for excess. You can't assign into a trust after the cutoff date, and their cutoff date was February 1st, 2005. So our loan was originated late 2004, and it was put into this trust. And guess what? There's nothing illegal about any of that. That's doing business. What they didn't count on was that the chain of title would get clouded, that by defaulting the security getting upside, all these other legal things they didn't anticipate. But the point is simply that in their rush, their haste, their arrogance, they filed the document that, honey, you used to, so-called a securitization audit, I usually have to pay $5,000 to get someone to go on a Bloomberg terminal to find what I found. And I found it by accident, just by being diligent and, you know, the Lord guiding me. Like, I literally found something, and honey, I never have looked for
Thank you for not giving me
I'm,
any
I'm
air
sorry,
conditioning.
you said, you know, like...
All right, is there
right.
some coming out there?
Right, here's my point though, is that, like, me even looking, it's like again, me with the guy with the picture, me looking for that assignment, honey, I've never looked for an assignment for us. Even in all of my research and defense stuff, I just haven't done it. Like, I've not done it. And so for me to even do it now, and I did it a week after they did it, like, is a miracle. Because, honey, I don't find that document, then I am speculating through inference. And again, they're actually decent lawyers. They don't reply to anything. They're not making any more false statements. They're just not saying, you know, anything. It's like again, like, they're actually playing it correctly at this point forward. But the fact is, they have an old case where they did all these lies, and that's still going to come to haunt them. So my point is that before I just had their omissions as the evidence, like their silent was assent, their silent was deafening, all that shit. But now I have something they filed, which proves everything I've said. JP Morgan doesn't have it. Why? They assigned it to Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers, I have on our computer the offering prospectus. So I'm putting all of that into a pleading that I'm probably filing this week, okay? And I'm filing it, I don't even know, it could be at the federal level, it could be by the way, that's why I did a couple of checks, because I'm going to have to pay a filing fee, whatever it is. It's not going to be much, and I'm going to wait till after I get a check. But my point is that is, I want you to leave knowing this one fact, that I have one ace up my sleeve, one ace. And it's the only ace I need. And it's an ace where no judge is going to be able to ignore it, because it is what's called a smoking gun, a gun with smoke coming out, like it is. No, as it's known. I know, but some people don't know what that phrase means, but like, this is the smoking gun. And I have not used it. I've not betrayed knowledge of it. I've sent out emails to to the lawyers. You've gotten them when I said, tell me how much to pay off. You guys on the loan? You know, simple questions. And they're not even answering. Now, what does that tell you? So that's why I think that guy's taking that picture, because I've already sent a certified thing to Jamie Dimon. I've sent a certified thing to a board member, Chase. I'm blaring to the world about Chase and JP Morgan, okay? Literally on like Godlike Productions, which is like a lot of people in the intelligence community. It's out there, okay? And, you know, and guess what? All of that was a reality before I had this ace. Like, I'm almost amazed that I went that far without even the goods on them. I just knew that they were doing it, because it's like knowing, like, Scott Peterson killed his wife, but we didn't find the body yet. You know, it's like, we know he fucking killed her, and then they found the body. It's like, that's what it's like. And I found the body, baby, and they don't know I found the body. That's the beauty of it. They don't know. And so this thing is not only going to be stopped, I think it's going to be dismissed. And then, honey, at some point, I file a $1 billion lawsuit against Chase, only seeking for us to get maybe $1 million personally, and the rest to be put towards a fund for homeowners that can't afford lawyers, like something very, positive, and go maybe $100 million after Phelan, and literally say in a press release, be like, our intention is to put Phelan out of business if we win this suit, because they are nothing more than a scourge in the legal profession, because they are systematically practicing executing fraud in the largest bank in America. And we also see, if not to destroy, Chase, to reform Chase, okay? Because this is unacceptable that in a judicial state where you get due process, we now face in 5 weeks a sale dated, and we still don't have a judge signature on anything. We haven't appeared in front of a judge for a moment, and you're a lawyer and I'm me, and so we filed everything correctly. We're aware of all the laws, and still we can't get our day in court. So that's why I remember the Bobby Gibson thing. Like, I just don't want to deal with it, because think of it from his perspective. He has no clue what's going on. In 33 days, he went from nothing to you're losing your home. And if you don't know everything I know, it's like, look at you. You feel the same way. You're just like, oh my God, make it go away. And just like the shrink said, it's so upsetting, and it totally is. But guess what's not upsetting? What's not upsetting is like when something happens bad and the ambulance just drove up, you feel better. Or when the cops come, you feel better. Well, guess what you should feel better about? I have one piece of paper, one fucking piece of paper that ends this case. And it ends it, baby. And the fact is, I never had that. I only had the argument that I think they didn't, aver ownership, or I know Lehman Brothers has it, but I have the proof. Now I have the proof. Honey, I know the date. I know everything about it. And 2 weeks ago, I only knew that Lehman Brothers on September 15th of 2008 is like, that's really when it changed hands. I know, that's all I knew. And I didn't know anymore. And I couldn't find out anymore because it's impossible to find out anymore without professional Bloomberg terminals. But I got lucky, and so I just want you to hear that because, that's what is my number one priority, is to stop this whole thing in its tracks. And the good, and here's the other good news. If everything I say fails, and we declare bankruptcy, almost most positive cases in terms of this foreclosure bullshit, in terms of favorable for the homeowner, have all occurred in the bankruptcy circuit. So the idea is that I don't really want to declare bankruptcy. I don't want to go through that bullshit. I really don't. Okay, but if I have to, we have to, and we'll see how it goes. But the point is simply that not only does it buy us time, that court is truly a court of sympathy in this issue. And I've read a bunch of cases. Honey, nobody ever had our evidence. And also no one ever had our evidence with so much lies and fraud being perpetrated by the law firm and or the bank prior. We have 2 years of a record from the other case where they have. I have emails where they lied. I have everything. I have so much of their lies, and any one of them is a felony. Any one of them is any one of them is mail fraud, wire fraud. It's like one thing I'm doing today later is I'm calling up Chase for fun, videotaping it, and they're going to say this is recorded, and I'm going to say, this is being recorded. It's being recorded, and I know it's being recorded, right? And they're like, yeah. They're going to think that means but I'm recording it too, so that makes it legal. We're both recording it, and I'm going to ask for the payoff figure. I'm going to ask for payment amounts, how much we pay. I'm going to ask basic questions. I'm going to ask for the owner. I'm going to ask for the service. I'm going to manipulate this minimum wage person very nicely, and get information out of them on the record legally, and then I'll probably for fun call Fallon, do the same damn thing, as I mail off our tax bill, and then I mail off a QWR, which is a qualified written request, which in 5 days they must acknowledge, and in 30 days respond to. If they don't, the debt is nullified. So, and I do that by certified mail. So think about how deft all this timing is. It's like a fucking reverse play to run with timing, or gymnastics or something. I have to get the tax bill out and have them process that, get the QWR out to another department, simultaneously call to get them to lie on tape, either both the plaintiff and the defaulting. I have to prepare I'm entering on Monday a default judgment against our counterclaim. They never answered our counterclaims, so I'm doing to them what they did to us, which is a bogus default judgment. I didn't give them notice, just like they didn't give us, but I'm going to play their game, and I'm going to go in and get a default judgment against them, which is going to be hysterical because that's going to totally frustrate them, because it just is. It's going to muck up the works, and that's the whole idea. And I'm doing all of these chess moves, and then I'm going to exhaust my remedies, find out if Griffin's going to deal or not. If he doesn't, I go to federal for my relief, which is what you do. And then, I get all this done way before the 30-day mark, and I get it stopped or stayed or whatever. With what? The power of this newly discovered evidence. Part of a motion 12B or 60A in federal courts is about if you have newly discovered evidence, which I do, but that's part of what gives them jurisdiction. So the whole point here is it's like, baby, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Without this thing, I would just have a lot of good arguments and a lot of good circumstantial stuff. And now I don't. I have the actual goods on them. I have the 8Ks. I have all of it to literally give, and the exhibits will be bigger than the pleadings. because I have all this shit, and it's like, and all it's going to do is show the lies. I mean, honey, for them, they granted in this assignment, you know, for us, and that's illegal. In other words, in the assignment, it should say J.P. Morgan Chase assigns to like whomever, whatever. For them to have assigned us, here's how funny it gets. First of all, it's not right, but think about it for a second. If they assign it to someone else, then they put our names as the grantors. When the Barnes granted us the mortgage or the deed or whatever, okay, they didn't have any obligations to a mortgage at that point, right? Well, I don't know why JP Morgan did this, but by putting our names on it, which by the way you can't, if you put our names on it, we have to sign it, okay? But by them doing that, they actually, in effective law, removed I have an obligation to the note, you don't. We both have an obligation to the mortgage. But by them assigning it within our names and theirs to a defunct Lehman Brothers now, they in effect gave up our obligations they gave up their obligations to the mortgage or their attachment and ours. Now they didn't intend to do that. They intended to do it back then because they got paid for it. They did intend it. But by putting our names on it carelessly or improperly or mistakenly, they have actually created a legal kind of defect where we're technically now off the mortgage, and so the note we're off of because they've divorced it or bifurcated it by selling it. The mortgage we still had an obligation to whoever held the mortgage and the note, but by that assignment we arguably don't now even have an obligation to the mortgage because of this new evidence. So I guess I'm saying in a nutshell is, baby, you have to take solace in that, and you know, okay. I just want you to take solace in that. I want you to focus on it.
No, I don't want to focus on it.
Okay. I want you to focus on it if and when the bad thoughts come up. Because even me, before this happened, like I couldn't get out of my worry because I said, what's happening? You know, like this is beyond my control, and the truth isn't working, and I didn't have that gun, that lever, and I do now, and I just want you to know that that's everything. End of story. Just like getting that lawyer is everything for the Harrisburg case. We need a lawyer. I got one. I'll send you the email, you know, when I get home or whatever. I think email them today. Maybe a background thing. I can write it up for you. You can rewrite it, and then maybe on Monday or whenever it's right for you, you have a 10-minute conversation with them. And you know, it's nothing you have to do in one day. Just it's something that you'll do, and we'll deal with it when we get back fully. But the point is, he might be able to get some things going. I'll send him any and all materials, and I'll help you on that. But the point is that you have to, I think, mentally as you go away, let go of these problems. And if it comes up in your brain, think, oh well, for that one, we have a lawyer, and we've done this, and this is good, and you know, it's okay. And then on this end, Tim just explained all that thing to me about the foreclosure, and he's going to wait for me. And you know, whatever your deal is, it's like I love you, and I'm doing everything to solve everything I can solve. I got Sean about to give me essentially a job. It's like, you know, these are all amazing moments in our life. I just don't think we're living like that right now. I think we're living sort of in this like we're under shelter, like we're running for cover. We've never been in a better position. And I know it's crazy to say that, but it's the truth. We've never been in a position where you're getting paid. I'm about to get paid. I just sold my first fucking website. I'm developing my other websites. I'm finishing my film. I mean, wow. A lot of good things are happening right now. And we have a couple major problems. But guess what? I'll take those problems with the gifts that we have. Our kids are okay. We're healthy. I mean, my mom's still alive. Even though I don't like